Hi, my name is Robert Green Sands. I'm the CEO of Pamlico Rose, or Pamlico Rose Institute for Sustainable Communities. Welcome to our Rose Haven Center of Healing. We're right now standing on our rustic 1892 farmhouse, which is undergoing rehabilitation. The center itself sits in Washington, North Carolina. We're coming to you for our Giving Tuesday campaign, which is raising $6,000 to do the floors in our rustic farmhouse. There are other things about the center that at points in the future we'll be developing like this to give you a better idea of what we're doing. The center includes half a neighborhood block of healing gardens. We have a barn in the back. We have bridges and arbors and council rings, and we have a lot of things going on at the center as we bring it all together. And the rehabilitation of this house is just one of those elements. Basically, for those who know or don't know anything about us, we are, as I said, a nonprofit 501c3, and our mission is advancing wellness and resilience building programs for veterans. Right now, we're specifically addressing female veterans with needs due to the struggle with reintegration. Our programs are twofold. We have two programs, actually. We have a 3-month residential program that will start once the house is completed. And we also offer 3 to 4 day retreats for female veterans. We call these total life fitness retreats. And they provide 3 days of skill building and learning about elements that will promote wellness and resilience for female veterans. So follow me in and I'll show you our farmhouse. This is a really interesting house. It appears on the map for the first time in 1892, but we think that the house might be even older in age. The architectural style of the house is more reminiscent of the mid-1800s, so there's a possibility that the house was moved and set on. The first 20 years of this house was really interesting for this part of North Carolina. The first owner of the house was an African-American female. Back then, that was very out of the ordinary. The first 20 years of this house's existence, mostly African-American families and boarders lived here. So in a way, the house was serving the underrepresented even back then. In 1916, an African-American mother and her daughter ran a laundry out of the house. It was a very functional blue-collar house. So we're actually in the kitchen area, or the area that we're going to call the kitchen. The house has twin chimneys, and when the house was built, these two chimneys were built with the house. They no longer work. It's not very good to have fires in a very old house. So they are blocked up, but they still maintain the significance of when they first became part of the house. This is going to be, as I said, the kitchen area. Just imagine refrigerators, a stove, an island, a sink, a dishwasher. This is probably going to be the room where, for our residential program, the female veterans will spend the most time together. And for our retreats, this is where we will at least feature some of the nutritional parts of our sessions that we do for the retreats. Hi, we're on the second story of our Rose Haven house. And you can see it's under construction. We've sort of gutted the entire house, and now we're starting to piece it back together again. Most of the work that we do on the house, especially on the outside, has to follow the guidelines of the Historic Commission. For instance, we are having to, but I think we would anyway, replace windows, and we're not replacing them with vinyl or plastic. We're rebuilding the windows from scratch. And so a lot of the windows that we're doing, 42 sashes or 23 windows are in this house. And so one of our colleagues, David Steckel, is rebuilding these windows, replacing the rotting wood and having to take the glass out, put the glass back in and reglaze it. For him, he's taking 25 hours a sash to do. So you can see that making it more historically significant, or at least historically relevant, means a lot of time and effort, but we think it's worth it. So here's the object of our giving campaign for Giving Tuesday. These are the original wood floors of this 1892 farmhouse. They're pine, they're very wide, which can give you an idea of how old the floors are. What we intend to do is, for the house itself, for most of the floors, especially on the second floor where there might not be as stable, we plan on putting a wood veneer over the floors. However, there's a couple rooms in the house that we want to maintain the historical significance of the floors, so we will redo the floors and bring them back to its original luster. So the dollars that we get for Giving Tuesday will go into not only building the floors up that we will need to lay a floor on top for stability, but for the two rooms that we're going to keep the original floors, your money will go to helping us sand and stain and bring those floors back to life. So from the bottom of our heart at Pamela Rose, thank you so much for considering this as part of your Giving Tuesday. When the house is done, when the rehabilitation is complete, even though it may look like what it used to on the outside, on the inside it will have changed dramatically. And that's also a really good metaphor for the female veterans that will come here and go through our programs, because on the outside they may look the same, but when they go through this program or the programs, or even through life changes into the future, they won't be the same. It's a very important point, having to come to grips with change in your life, knowing that the old you is gone, but the new you, as you develop and change to meet the kinds of things that you're dealing with, will be an even better you.